a second. It could take 5 minutes. Hi, everyone. I see we already have people here. Leniva, nice to see you. Empoleon, hi. Mighty Might, hello. I believe you are new. Welcome.
Yes. Some people are going to be from my server and stuff because I advertise this too.
Okay, awesome. I like it when you guys share this with new people.
Sure. I shared it like literally everywhere. I was like, please come.
Awesome. Well, we already have a whole 4 people watching. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you didn't forget about me and stuff. Oh my God, it's my sister, my real life sister. Thanks for
Ooh,
showing up,
cool.
little sister. Yeah.
My brother knows I'm doing this, so he might come too.
Oh, nice. We have the family here.
Woo!
It's a family event. That's awesome. Thank you, Empoleon. I appreciate the welcome back. Yeah, I haven't interviewed in a while. Just life getting in the way, big girl adulting stuff, and yeah. So here we are again. I have some. I don't want to say troubling news, but I guess it's going to change things. And we were just talking about this, Spirit Voices.
Oh, right.
So to those of you that do not know, oh, hi, Spazman. Welcome. To those of you that don't know, the way that many of us stream is through the most instant function, which is using Google Hangouts through the YouTube interface. If you see something fancier, then it's not happening through Google Hangouts, trust me. It's very basic Google Hangouts. However, YouTube, or not YouTube, but Google, who owns YouTube, has decided to kind of kill that function of Google Hangouts. They're not really going to allow Google Hangouts. I don't know if it's just for the multiple users, like, how I have guests, or if it's, altogether they're killing it. But I know that today's the last day, supposedly, based on the article that I read. So I thought it would be fun to have one last interview in this fashion.
I'm honored.
Yeah, and you know what, Spirit Voices, I had you long overdue. I asked you for this interview, like, I think 3 months ago or something.
Oh, yeah,
And
something like that.
yeah, and then that's why I was nervous coming back and asking you, like, earlier, what it was, like, over the weekend, seeing if you were still interested. I
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
sure.
I
I
was
thought
like,
maybe you'd
I'm always
outgrown me. Yeah, because you've grown quite a bit from the time that I initially asked you for this, and I'm
I
very
think
happy to
so,
see
yeah.
that. But yeah, like, I had you in mind since way before I asked you 3 months ago, like, almost since you started. So this had to
That's
happen,
so cool.
and, you know what? I finally came through with my request, and here you are, and I'm glad you agreed again.
Yeah, no, as soon as you asked me, I went to your channel and like binged all the ones that you did with narrators I knew. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, looking back through that playlist, sometimes it's a little bit nostalgic because it shows me who's not around anymore.
Yeah, no, I did see some names that I used to see, and then like I went back and I was like, man, they haven't posted in like months.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And it also reminds me how long I've been doing this for, 'cause it's been, like, what, 3 years now? A little bit over 3 years, I think I
Something like
started.
that.
Yeah, I think I started back in 2016. And I think I have been fortunate enough to interview so many channels. I didn't realize there had been so many channels, to be honest with you, until recently.
You're gonna do
Um
like a throwback listen.
Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll do that. I don't know, towards the end of the year, maybe around the holidays, like, I'll figure out how to properly live stream like everybody else does and make it all fancy and throw in some music in there,
Oh wow.
it won't be as rudimentary as
It's like get your life together with that. Like this is literally my first one. So I clearly have zero idea how to do it. So
Well, see, and that's the thing is, like, as we were speaking, like, it seems fairly easy. Like, I sent you a link and you connected, right? Sometimes people have to, like, download plugins and stuff, but it's never too complicated. But from what I found out, and I know that I think 1 or 2 of you just suggested different methods on the chat.
Mhm.
Um, OBS, I tried OBS like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it seems more involved. And when I tried it, I had somebody else get on with me, and their quality of internet was not the best. So it was
Oh,
like a horrible, like, quality
I
stream, and
know.
that's what kind of turned me off to it, was the fact that the quality was so awful. Now, that was Discord and OBS, because you have to plug in OBS to something else. It doesn't work on its own.
Sure.
Now, people are suggesting that I pair Skype with it, which I didn't even know was a possibility, so I have to look into that. Um, My concern though is the ease of use because I can use it. I know how to set it up. I know how to do this. But if I'm sending a link to another narrator who maybe their quality isn't their internet quality isn't the best, like I don't want to have to annoy people like that. So I have to have this down to like the easiest method possible so it will be friendly to whoever I'm interviewing or whoever I'm having on.
Right.
Because even with this, like I was telling you before we started streaming live, I've had people who have kind of just not been able to do it with Google Hangouts, like for whatever reason their device doesn't work with Google Hangouts or something goes wrong.
I think we got
And
lucky, honestly.
well, you know what? Like it's usually this easy. Like as easy as it was with you, this is usually how it works. This is how it's supposed to work. And then
Oh,
there's
that's
people
good.
who have to do a little bit more with, but they still get it. And then there's like maybe two or three people that it just does not work with at all. And I have to basically cancel the interview and then getting
Oh
them to
no.
reschedule. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes they don't reschedule. So
Oh no,
it's
that's
a
even
little awkward.
worse.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. So it is worse. But I try not to let people down and I try to make this as painless as possible.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, oh my God, there's a whole 15 of you watching. Thanks,
Woo!
guys. I
It's a
appreciate it. I'm
party.
sure like more than half of those people are people in your Discord.
I have literally no idea.
Oh, thank you, Empoleon. I appreciate that. Empoleon said next month is a 2-year anniversary that I became a fan
Aw,
of your content. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
that's so
Wow, I
sweet.
can't believe you remember when you became a fan, but that I feel special. I really appreciate
It's
that.
very specific.
It certainly is.
I
Um,
wouldn't remember my own like YouTube anniversary if I didn't have like like it says on the video what day I posted it. So that's how I know.
Nice. See, for me, I created the channel, I think like a month or like 3 weeks before I actually did my first upload. And then I don't remember my first upload because I actually took it down.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I took down my first upload. Oh my gosh, I have so much to talk to you guys about this stream. But let's get into the reason why most of you are actually here and all the questions that you guys post in the chat. I will go ahead and address them after the interview because after all, that is the topic of the night is Miss Spirit Voices here. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up my questions. Give me a second. So unprofessional.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's fine.
Spirit Voices, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I don't want
Sure.
to assume that everybody just knows you.
Sure. So obviously I'm Spirit Voices. And I mean my channel is basically just pretty much exclusively fiction. I haven't done any nonfiction or anything like that yet. So it's usually stories that I find off of the Creepypasta wiki, or No Sleep, which is, the more popular one, I think. But yeah, and they're, very distinctly labeled, so you could tell which is which. But yeah, those are pretty much the only things I've done on that channel so far. And then I guess about me as like a person, I am 19 years old and I am going currently in school for psychology and I'm minoring in creative writing. So that's pretty much like where this interest came from, is all the creative stuff I've done.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those college days. I miss them sometimes, but now I'm glad
Yeah.
that they're over with.
I feel like it's a mixed bag because like like right now it's nearly the end of summer. I'm going back in I think like two-ish weeks, a week and a half. And I'm very, very, very excited, but I'm also like school is so stressful sometimes. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially around finals times. That's when it
Yeah.
really gets to you.
Oh
Wait till
yeah.
your senior year.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited for that. And I might be going to grad school too, so that'll be cool.
That is, yeah, I believe in you. You got this.
Thank you.
Usually
I
with a
appreciate
psychology
that.
degree, you wanna go all the way. Because I initially was a psychology person. I
Oh
majored in
really?
psychology originally, and then so many years in, I changed it because I knew that if I wanted to do what I needed to do, I was gonna have to go all the way to the level of a PhD, and I knew that that was going to be
Hmm.
financially taxing, and it
Yeah,
was
that's kind of where I am
yeah,
too. Yeah, so it, might change at some point, but I would need to find something else to change it to first. So it's only my sophomore year is next
Exactly,
year.
you have
So
time. You have
yeah.
time. I changed it at the end, I'm not gonna lie. I was 2 classes away, and, I actually had a professor, not to get too off track, but I had a professor who just she was the nicest lady ever, but
Oh,
she just, stood in front of us and said, "Look, if you're gonna do this, you have to go all the way. If not,
it's a
it's
lot of
not gonna
work.
be worth it for you."
Yeah.
She said, "I still am $100,000 in debt."
Oh,
So
wow.
that did not sit too well with me. So I
Oh
was
no,
like,
yeah.
I love English. I majored in English lit."
Fair enough, honestly. If there was a major, because at the school that I'm in, there's not a creative writing major. So if there was, I'd be doing that probably. But
Yeah, that's a tough one to find in schools. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you.
I don't know either. It's such a cool thing.
It definitely is. I've seen masters in creative writing, but I haven't seen bachelors too often. Huh.
Yeah, I know. I was like when I went to high school, there was a college sort of attached to it, and that one did have a major in creative writing, but the college I ended up going to didn't. I was like, well,
Oh no.
that sucks.
Gotcha. Okay, so what made you choose Spirit Voices as the name for your channel?
Yes. So I feel like with this question, I feel like there's half the people have a really cool, interesting origin story, and then the other half are like, well, it just sounded good, and I'm on the latter. I don't.
Sounded good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of didn't know a lot of horror narrators when I first started, like at all. So just independently, I was thinking, well, I've got to do I got to have some element of horror in it, and I have to make it obvious that narrating horror stories is what I'm doing. So I was thinking like something with voices or something with like reading or something like that. So I actually Spirit Voices wasn't my original name on here.
Ooh, can we
Um,
get to know what it originally was?
yeah, no, I mean it's not super interesting, but like for the first I think it was before my first upload, but I had this channel for a couple days, and for the first like 2 or 3 days, it was royal voices, which is not scary at all. But I was like, hey, it sounds cool. I could be called like I could have a nickname out of it. I had all my
Yeah.
social media done with royal voices, and I had like a profile picture and everything. And then I was like, but it's not scary. I liked it for like a day, and then I was like, it's not scary enough. It's not obvious. Like I looked it up and there was already a bunch of channels with that name. And I was like, you know what? I gotta change this to something else. So
Something that's not
I
taken.
yeah, so like I kept the voices, but I kept like switching words in and out of royal. So eventually I think I think it just popped into my head at some point. I was like, oh, spirit voices would
Your
be
voices.
cool. Yeah.
And it's a cool one. It definitely is.
Thank you.
I was actually looking for the link to your channel, and, I just typed in YouTube Spirit Voices, and I found songs, but your channel, I think, is the only one I found with that name, so, hey, it works out.
Yeah, I was competing with the song Spirit Voices for a while there.
But the only channel, so that works.
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
What's your current sub count?
I believe currently it's 3,100, and I think it's at 30 or 31 now. It was at like 28 or something this morning, so it changed a little bit. But
Oh, look at
um,
you. See,
yeah, I know.
I like the fact that I used Rising Star in the description because it's so true.
Thank you. I don't know. I feel like I definitely got a lot of traffic this year specifically, like these past 6 months. It's been very, very surprising for me.
What do you think has been responsible for your biggest boost?
I know exactly what.
Oh,
There's
really good.
definitely for sure it was the Dark Somnium.
That's how I found you. Ding, ding,
Yep.
ding.
Yep, it was definitely the Dark Somnium. He gave me, I don't remember, I think it was I want to say like February. He gave me this like really like nice generous shout out on one of his videos that I was in, and it I immediately rose like a couple hundred. Like that day, I woke up and I was like literally I was like fangirling because I had gained like
That's
a
awesome.
couple hundred subscribers, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely because of him.
That is awesome. Yeah, he's a really cool guy, and I gotta tell you, I mean, I have a confession to make. I love your
Mhm.
channel and I love your videos, but I love the videos that you've lent your voice to on his channel. They're, like, some of
Yes.
my favorites.
They're my favorites too. I mean, they're I love them.
Yeah, I mean, your voice just works so well for the roles he usually chooses for you.
Thank
Um,
you.
what was it? Oh, the spider one. I forgot what it's
Yes.
called.
Oh,
That one, I mean,
Forest of a Thousand Legs.
that one is such a great story, and you
Mhm.
do such a great job with it.
Thank you.
There's another one too, I can't even remember. It was around the same time where I was just like, "Wow, she is amazing at this."
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah. I love doing collabs with him. It's like it's probably like one of my favorite things besides making videos for my own channel. It probably is my favorite thing for YouTube because it's literally so fun.
Yeah, and he's great at the sound work too, like the sound
Oh yeah,
mixing, and he chooses the right music. Well, actually, he makes the correct music, because he does that himself, and
sure.
he just makes everybody sound like $1,000,000.
I know. I was so impressed. He took because the first like huge one that I did where I was like a main role was Because You Are My Baby.
That's the one. That's the other one.
Yeah, and that
Love
one was
it.
like I like didn't even recognize my own voice. I was like in shock. I was like, "What? How did you do this?" Like me with my $15 microphone, like it sounded so good.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah.
it was really
That
good.
that was that was also my other favorite one. Such a good
Mhm.
one. And like I said, your voice works so well for that.
Thank you.
So what inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
Um, Honestly, like with a lot, I tend to do this with a lot of projects like art stuff and music stuff and pretty much all the projects that I've decided to do that weren't like school related, I've done pretty impulsively. I literally like with things in general that I want to do because I have a lot of motivation issues. So with things that I want to do, I honestly it just comes to me and I'm like, you know what? This is the thing I want to do right now, so I'm going to do it. And I don't really think too much about it. I just kind of do it. So with this, it was kind of like that. I mean, I did have a little um, preface to it in that I think it was June because I started this in early July. So I think it was June. I had a story that I had written for a camp I was going to, and I read aloud a lot to edit my own writing, and sometimes I record myself reading my writing just to listen back on it and review it in terms of um, flow and wording and stuff like that. So I had done that for the story I'd written, and um, I think I was sending it to my friends because I wanted them to like review it and just like give me feedback on it. But I don't remember how long it was, but it was kind of long. So I didn't want them to just be like staring at a wall while they listened to my writing.
Yeah.
So I remember, and this was like totally amateurish. It was like on my phone. I recorded it on my phone, and I'm pretty sure I just like put a fire like crackling ambiance in the background
Ah.
and put a fire image like video on it on repeat. I'm pretty sure that's I just like read the story like that. And so a couple weeks later after the camp was over, I was like, you know what, that was like really fun and my friends liked listening to it. And why not? Because I had listened to some horror narrators before, and I was like, you know what? I've aged enough that my voice is like at a solid, at a solid point. Like why not? Why not just like there was no harm in me doing even just like one and putting it up there, even if nobody saw it.
So the
Um,
first video or the first recording was actually kind of an accidental one in a way. Like this
Sort of.
wasn't the end game for that recording. It wasn't for you to upload it on here. It was like this was already part of a different process for your writing process.
Mhm.
And then you're like, hey, I could just do this all the
Pretty much,
time.
yeah. I mean, because it was. I was like, well, you know what? If I have like actual like editing software. Oh, there are the dogs. I was
No
like, if I
worries.
have actual editing software, and like if I actually put more effort into it, I feel like it could be really cool. So I literally went onto the creepypasta wiki. Well, I made my Royal Voices account. I went onto the creepypasta wiki and I was like, hey, does anybody have like a story I could just read for fun? Like I'm just trying my hand at this and
Mhm.
just want to see how it goes. And I got a couple responses, I think, but I chose my favorite, or one, at least one of my favorites. And I just like, did it mostly as like a just like a for, because it was summer. I didn't really have anything else to do. So I was like, sure, let's just do this. Like it should be fun. So, and I picked a day of the week and I was like, I'll just do this for however long I feel like doing it and see what happens. So it's
So
just on
here we
impulse.
are.
Here we are.
With a rapidly growing channel.
Yeah,
Yay!
definitely the longest project that I've stuck with in my entire life.
Well, we're happy to have you and
Thank
hopefully
you.
continue. You've come such a long way. I mean, you've grown, quickly, like I was just saying. But is there something that you wish to improve upon?
Um, Honestly, like kind of like we were talking about earlier with the Dark Somnium, he does a lot of sound effects and soundscapes and stuff. I would love to keep working with those because when I first started, had literally zero editing experience at all. I didn't know how to edit. I've never edited a video before. And I just sat in front of Adobe Premiere Pro, like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. And it was a lot of YouTube tutorials that helped me along the way. So I just don't have a lot of base editing knowledge. I kind of just figured it out. I'm figuring it out as I go along. So so yeah, I would like to work a lot on that because I know how to work with like my own voice. I feel like I've improved a lot on uh like enunciation and being like making myself sound clear since my first video. But I have to figure out editing. Editing is probably the hardest part for me to learn just because I didn't naturally get into it before I did this. This is like my learning experience, like as you're seeing it on my
Well, I'm sure
channel.
that's
So,
I'm sure that's the case with most of us. We probably never edited a video before. I mean, there's a few
yeah.
that had channels before this, like completely unrelated channels.
Hmm.
But I think for the most part, most people have no idea how to edit and they just kind of go out there. And the fact that you started out with Adobe is actually really neat because
I
most
honestly,
people start out with like the whatever Windows Microsoft thing was
oh
around for a
yeah.
while, and that was a nightmare.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I like to be completely transparent. I mostly used it because I have a student account, so it's free for me to use.
Ooh, very
Um,
nice.
and the only reason that I know that is because I went to my group chat of real life friends and I was like, hey, I need to edit this because I have a few tech savvy friends that are know much more than I do. I was like, hey, I need something to edit with. Does anyone have any suggestions? Because I did originally go to the app store on my computer and try to look for a program, but it was a nightmare to figure out. So I went to I went to my other friends and they were like, oh yeah, you should have a student account with Adobe because you're like in school. And so I went there and I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is a lot easier. um, I still have a app for the raw recording, like
Mhm.
just like a microphone app that I use.
Oh, gotcha.
So still have that. Still have Audacity. That's you
Yeah,
know is
Audacity is your best friend.
Audacity is great. It cuts out
It's so
all the
easy to use
noise.
too. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's very helpful.
As far as the recording part, is there something you do before recording? Is there, like, a process for you to prepare to record or anything like that?
Um, on the biggest part of because I don't really like I'm pretty informal with this sort of. I don't because I don't uh, see YouTube as like a career, like a permanent career path for me, especially with how like weird YouTube is. Um, so I am pretty informal with it. I mean the biggest part of my you know any process that I would have is getting to a point where I am like alone because as I told you before we started this, I am in a house with my family currently over the summer. And then when I'm not there, I'm at school in which I have a roommate and, suite mates and people who live like right next to me all the time. So, I have to get to a place where I like can record without like a whole bunch of background noise to edit out and um, to dodge over. And even now, even then it's like hard because there's always going to be something, but
So basically just obtaining silence is the process.
oh
We're
yeah,
restricted to
no,
things
I
here.
honestly, even like relative silence, like even a little bit, even quiet is fine with me. I because at school I either have to record in my room while my roommate isn't there, or I literally most of the time will rent out a study room in my college library,
And
and
record
I'll
it
just
there?
like yeah,
Wow,
I'll record it there, and
that's nifty.
I'm sure that people, like, think I'm insane. I don't know how soundproofed it is. I imagine not very. So I'm sure the only time it's uncomfortable to record around people is when I have to, like, say a line really loud or, like, fake being scared or, like, sad or something because I'm afraid somebody's gonna hear me and be like, "What is wrong with her? Like, is she
Yeah,
okay?"
no, I personally am concerned that, somebody's gonna walk by outside and they're gonna hear my screams or something because
I
it's part of the
know.
story.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because sometimes because I really like the voice acting part of narrating, but, like, sometimes it'll depending on the line, it'll be, like, me actually, like, fake crying or something
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly,
being
like, when you're
and I'm like
crying,
yeah, and I'm afraid people are gonna walk by and see me and be like, "Oh, was she's
okay,
struggling."
sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have a video that's disturbed you that you've narrated?
Yes. Yes, I definitely I don't have, like, too many because I've had a lot of stories that I've read because I love every single story I put up. Um, and I do have a bunch that are like, when I first initially read over them, I was like, "Ooh, that's really creepy." But I remember one specifically, and I always mess up the title because it's pretty long, but I think the full title is My Intensive Technology Detox Diary. Um, and ooh, one take. And and
Can
that
you give
one
us a synopsis on that one for those of you that
yeah, it was
haven't heard?
I mean, it was a while ago that I did it. It was a couple months ago, I think. But, for anyone who's listened to it, it's about it's on No Sleep, and it's basically a diary account of, someone deciding that they aren't gonna use the internet anymore, but not using the internet anymore has some really serious, like, side effects on them, and it's disturbing to me in that, I am a germaphobe and a hypochondriac. So, a lot of the symptoms in that story are very physical and, like, creepy in that I don't even I'm trying to remember, like what is the ones that really creep me out, but I just remember reading that one and getting and, like, cringing, like, "Oh, no, 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 I don't like that." But, no, it, like, definitely because I don't like reading a lot of stories with too much gore in them in general,
Mhm.
but so that one definitely towed a line. I was like, "Ooh, it's very close, but I'm gonna do it."
Okay, well, now everyone who hasn't listened to it has to go check
I
it out.
know, like, now because it's really I mean, it is a very good, well-written story, it's just, whew, oh no, that one
Really
got to me.
gets to you.
Yeah, even reading it, I had to, like, stop. I had to, like, take a break. I was like, "Whew, oh no."
Do you have a favorite video you've narrated?
That one is really that one is a really hard one to answer for me because like I
You
said
have a talent for choosing amazing stories. You don't just choose what's new and hot. You choose some really meaningful, like, deep stories.
yeah, I mean, I think I've gotten really lucky with those because my process in picking out stories is basically I mean, especially because I am a smaller channel, I mean, I have grown, but, still I have to go to, um, Creepypasta Wiki and No Sleep and ask, does anyone want me to read their story? And a lot of the time I'll get people saying, you can look at my profile and just pick one. So I generally I go through profiles and pick one that I really like and that I feel like I would have fun reading, because I have kind of a short I have kind of a short attention span when it comes to that stuff. So if I don't like the story I'm doing, it really does feel like work for me to
And then it
record
makes you
it.
not wanna do it.
Yeah, to record it, but then sit down and do like 8 hours of editing on it. I don't it's not fun for me to do if I don't like the story, and I haven't even really tried that so far, because I really genuinely do love all the stories that I put out. So, I don't know, I guess I do have a favorite kind of story in that I really like, the first or second person stories, because like I said before, I really like the voice acting that comes with, narrating. So, like with the very first video I ever did, it was in second person, so I was narrating as the guide. It was a ritual story, so I was narrating as the guide, um, through the ritual while the reader was listening from the perspective of the person going through it. So that was super, super fun, because I got to like be that character while I was reading. So I really like stories like that. But
Yeah, it's
I
always
mean,
nice to be able to get into character and then really
yeah,
embrace
yeah,
what's going on.
it's so fun for me. Like that's probably my favorite. Like I hadn't really done any acting before this,
Mhm.
um, but that's like definitely my favorite part. Um, so yeah, I guess
It's
I
more of a
mean,
type of story for you that is your
yeah,
favorite than a
yeah.
specific story.
And
Okay.
my first one will always have a special place in my heart, but I still can't really say it's my favorite, because I love them all.
Yeah. That's great, though. I mean, it really comes through in your work when you enjoy what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, I know.
What are your future plans for the channel?
Um, well, for as a channel started on basic impulse, I don't have very many. I Especially because I'm in school, um, I don't really, and it's not my career. I don't really know how to plan for it super long term.
Mhm,
Um, I do know that I really like to do it, and I do know that you know, it's pretty manageable right now to do it every week.
mhm.
Um, because if I were trying to be one of those narrators who does it like every day, I would be dead. I would not be able to do it.
You
I'd be like, okay,
probably
I'm out.
wouldn't enjoy it anymore or
No,
enjoy
I
it
really
as
wouldn't.
much, so, yeah,
Yeah,
I understand. So for right now, you're just enjoying the ride. You're just
yeah,
enjoying doing this thing that brings you fulfillment.
yeah. I mean, pretty much like, and like I said, I have a short attention span, and when I want to do something, I do it. So I think it would be really clear once if ever I start to not like doing it, because
It would
I
show in your work for
it would
sure.
show. It would My quality would probably go down. I probably would delay posting I wouldn't be regular anymore. It would be clear that I didn't care about it. So, just me still doing it shows that I do care
So
about it a
please
lot
just
still.
continue enjoying it and,
Yeah.
do it when you want to, not because
Yeah.
you feel you have
Yeah.
to.
And I think it will get harder as I keep going on in school. So I am a little nervous for that, but I think I think worst comes to worst. If I still want to do it, but I just don't have the time, I'll just default to a schedule where I just post when I can.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I mean, you have a life to live, and we all have to understand that. So, so
yeah,
yeah.
and I'm a perfectionist, so I like having a schedule, but I mean, I assume I assume that any video is better than like nothing, you know?
Definitely.
So,
I
I'm
agree.
just gonna take it as it goes, I think, is the only plan I have right now, is just do it for as long as I can, whenever I can.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we could really ask of you.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for any new series narrators?
Yeah, so I think about this kind of a lot, because I have been asked, I think like 2 or 3 times at least, like, this question by really, really, really new narrators who are just starting out. And it's really humbling that they ask me at all, because like I said, I'm just figuring this out as I go. So I'm like, "Oh, wow, I guess I look like I have my stuff together enough that people ask me advice. Um, but yeah, the main thing that I love to tell anyone who asks is interacting with people, because it's because when I first started out, I didn't really know that. I mean, it sounds kind of like a common sense thing to think, but when like I said, I didn't know any horror narrators, and I figured, well, this is probably the kind of thing where you just like, go your own way and like do your own thing, and people will, come to you. And I didn't really know that much about the community on here. I wasn't involved very much in any of the YouTube communities. So I didn't really know that that was so common, and that the community here was so
Yeah.
like cool, because
Yeah.
I didn't have that. So I remember like the first, I think it was with the first video, the author of that video was like sharing it with people, and they invited me to a Discord server. And that was like totally I was like, this is my first video. What? I was totally like mind blown. I was like, I have maybe like 10 subscribers, and they're, already inviting me places.
Wow.
So I I don't know, like I got into that server, I got all my social media together. I started following any narrators that I could literally find, even if I've never heard of them before. And, you know, I mean,
You said
now,
sorry.
sorry.
You said that it's common sense that, you should interact, but I actually think, and granted, I have terrible memory, but I think you're the only person who's ever said that when I asked that question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everyone else is like, be persistent or have a schedule. You think you're the first one who's pointed out the interaction.
I mean, like, honestly, you don't even really, I mean, I do think having a schedule is important, and especially with, there's like a whole YouTube algorithm or whatever. I have no idea what it is, but I know there is one. But I think interacting is probably the most important thing that I have found, because I would rather have over like a million subscribers who I don't communicate with, and who don't communicate with me, and that we're just coexisting together, and versus like 10 subscribers who are like my friends, and who talk, who leave supportive comments on my videos, and who I can like talk to like we actually know each other in real life. Like I would choose the latter every time, because it's really, people tend to be more understanding that way, and
Yeah, I agree. When they
it's
actually
more
know you as a
fun.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, and that's why I do these interviews is so that,
Yeah.
the audience can get to know you better. If they
Sure.
already know your channel, or if they don't, then they can get to know you, period. There's, like, that sense of how should I say? What's the right word for it? There's a sense of, like, realism? No, that's not the right term for it. It makes it real that you're
Oh,
not
I know
just
what you
a
mean.
voice behind, a microphone or
Mhm.
on YouTube when people actually get to interact with you like
Yeah.
this.
It's a community for sure.
Yeah.
And also, like, I personally, I mean, I am a social person, to be fair. Um, I don't like, like, and especially in real life, I don't like just like walking up to people, and I'm not very extroverted at first, but
Mhm.
um I don't know, like, especially online, like, it can really only help you, I think, because I mean, obviously not 100% of the time, but with a YouTube channel, I mean, if you befriend other people, and especially other narrators, like, they
It'll help
will
you
help
grow.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it helps
It'll
you grow
definitely help you
literally
grow.
so much more than I ever could have expected. And, reaching out to narrators, like doing collabs is not I mean, it's really fun for me to do, but also, I mean, it definitely helps. Like you get a lot of exposure that way, and
Yeah,
there's,
because everybody wants to back you up, and everybody wants to share you and retweet you and like
right.
you, and it gets you
Yeah.
out there. I completely agree. It's
Yeah.
just, you
It's
think it
so
would
much better.
you think it would be common sense, but nobody's ever said that before, and I'm not saying they haven't thought
Well,
about it. I'm just saying nobody said it before.
glad to be the first. It's very important for me.
Yeah. It's always important to be first.
Yeah.
Do you have
Well,
any special plans for the month of October
um,
for your channel?
so again, this is something that I don't do a lot of channel, like projects within my channel, just because I, don't usually have a lot of time for that.
Mhm.
I almost don't even have time to do the one video a week. So I kind of just keep it to that when I can. But last Halloween, I did have an idea where, because because sometimes people send me stories that they want me to do, and I can't always do them because either they don't fit the theme of my channel, or but the main problem I had was that they were too short. I had a lot of people sending me stories where they were like a page, and I was like, yeah, but I can't really make a whole video out of that. So
Yeah.
last Halloween, I did a compilation video of 5 very short stories. One of them, I remember that one of them was going to be one from No Sleep, but then I guess don't think I got permission in time. So I remember just did my own for the last one. But yeah, I did a compilation video last Halloween, and then in April, I did a halfway to Halloween compilation video
Oh, I
because
remember that one.
yeah, because I wanted to do it again. I was like, that was fun. So, because
Are you gonna do get another one this year?
yes, oh yeah, yeah. No, I plan to do it again. Hopefully. The only, I mean, the only thing about it is I have to, because it's not on a Tuesday, it's on a Thursday, I think. So the only thing about it is I have to start working on it pretty far in advance. But since it's only like every 6 months, I don't care about that. It's really fun to do. So, you know, so yeah, that's pretty much my only plan so far. But I definitely want to do one of those again because that was really fun.
Awesome. Do you have a dream collaboration?
If I had known about the Darksonium before I started my channel, I would have said him.
Aw.
But I did not. Again, like I said a million times now, I didn't know very many horror narrators. Um, so I guess like without knowing it, it was already fulfilled.
Aw.
Um, but if I did have to pick one, I have always really the one of the only narrators that I did listen to before I started was Darkness Prevails. I really liked. I know he does true stories, but I really, really like. I went through like a phase where I was listening to literally all of them, like when I had any free time, just in the background or actively, or when I was going to sleep. I was just listening to them nonstop. It was really. They were just so interesting to me.
Hey,
Um,
Darkness Prevails if you're listening. He wants to
Hit me
collab.
up. Yeah, I think I've only talked to him on Twitter like once, but I did really, really like his channel, and I still do, but I just don't have a lot of time to listen to those videos anymore. But yeah, no, I think yeah, if
Now
I did
it's
have
out
to pick
there,
one,
and
yeah,
hopefully it
now it's
happens.
out there. Oh man,
Awesome. Yeah, let's hope let's make it happen. I'm sure it will at some point. Somebody tell him if he's not
he
listening.
does know that I exist to an extent because
Well, that's a start.
yeah, right. I'm already here.
You're already on the radar, sort of.
It's kind of maybe.
Now shifting gears a little bit. What is your favorite horror movie?
This is where I start to look sort of like a horror fraud,
Is this where we
because
find out you don't like scary movies?
no,
Is this
I do
it?
look, I promise that I do like them. I in general, I don't have a lot of access to movie, and I mean, I only recently in my life kind of got into horror in general, like when I was older. I mean, um, so I don't I have Netflix, and I have uh, Hulu, and occasionally, if my friends are being generous, I do have Amazon Prime. But I don't have like cable. I don't have access to like renting old movies. So so I do like horror movies. I just haven't seen a lot. Um, and my friends, I think some of my friends want to like sit me in front of a TV and just binge them with me, and I'm totally fine with that. Um, but so out of the few horror movies that I have seen, I really like one on Netflix. I think it's called Hush.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one. Hush is a
yeah,
good one. He's very popular.
I do like that one. I have heard like some negative opinions about it, but I am not picky when it comes to movies, so it's really good to me.
I mean, I
Uh,
don't know how you could go wrong with the fact that, spoilers, guys, the girl is deaf and there's this psycho out to get her. Like,
it's
what do you do when you can't hear
It's
anything?
really
Like,
yeah, it's really intense, and I haven't seen, The Quiet Place, but I imagine that they do a similar thing wherein you use I mean, there people who make those kinds of movies are very good at using silence as a tool for fear
yes, yes,
because
and it's not like something that obviously pops out at you like, "Oh, let's use silence, guys, for the
yeah,
entire movie," but it
yeah.
works.
It can be terrifying, and I've seen it in writing too. I remember I've taken a bunch of creative writing classes, and I remember I had one prompt actually where the prompt was you had to use silence as a tool for whatever you were
Mhm,
trying to
wow.
convey. It's very interesting because you don't think about it, but like that's one of the reasons I love that movie is because it's like literally nothing can be happening. Like there's only like music or even no sound at all, and I'm sitting there like terrified. I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
a good
probably
one
my
for
favorite
sure.
one. Yeah.
Alright, favorite candy?
Yeah, that's see, I feel like all of these, I'm like, man, that's hard. But like, I am a sugar addict, so
Mhm.
I love pretty much, I'm very picky in terms of food. Like just in general, I'm a very picky and very plain eater. I know I've talked about this with a lot of people who know me on Discord and stuff. I'm very, very picky with what I eat. But if it has sugar in it, though, I pretty much like always like it because I I love all of it. But if I had to pick a favorite, um, I really, really have always liked Hershey Kisses.
Aw,
Um, because like I don't know why I could eat like if it's a Hershey's bar, I could eat like maybe half of it and be done, like be like, okay, that's enough. But Hershey Kiss, I could eat like a whole. I don't know what it is. If it's like just that they're come in smaller doses or what, but I could eat a whole bag of those and be good. Like
nice, very nice.
they're an
That's a
addiction.
good
I don't know
choice.
what it is.
That is a good choice. Alright, and for my final question, what would you now that, we've gotten to know you a little bit better as a person,
Mhm.
what would you like the audience to know about you and your channel?
So I thought about this a lot because I was like, man, one thing. Um, I think that if there was one, and I plan to update my channel trailer at some point because I mean I I did it for a video in which it was supposed to only be like 30 seconds, and I was like, man, but there's so much I want to put in it. So I plan to make a longer one at some point that maybe says or conveys this more. But if there's anything I want anybody to know about my channel, and it's more clear on my Discord, but I am a very strong proponent of making anything that I run a very safe and happy and positive space. Um, because like I myself am a pretty, I would say, accepting person, but I have a lot of real life friends who are in um, or who have grown up in places that aren't very accepting, and their safe space was our friend group. And I take that to heart a lot. And I want, if I can provide that for other people, that's like the only thing that I want for my channel. Like
Aw,
as a friend and as a person, that's pretty much all I care about is, making my
everyone
company,
feel comfortable?
yeah, my company just a safe place to be and to be them. I mean, again, as long to speak freely, as long as you're not being, hurtful or anything, but to to be yourself without worrying about it, because
Yeah,
I know that's kind of a hard thing in this day and age sometimes to find a place like that,
yeah.
and especially on the internet,
Mhm.
I'd say. So that's like a huge thing for me is just to have that space where people can be themselves because that's always been a huge part of my life, and if I could provide that for literally, like, even just, like, one person, that's all I care about, so
Aw, that's, like, such a sweet mission you have.
thank you.
Once
I
again,
know it's, like,
very
super
different from usual, but it's a great one.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought about it a lot, because, obviously that doesn't really have that much to do with narrating stories.
No, I
Um,
mean, that's completely okay because it's part of who you are, and,
yeah, yeah.
it just reflects in your channel, so
Yeah, and
it's
I
great.
started this for fun. It's just a
Yeah.
fun thing for me. It's not like a serious, like, I don't care that much about. I mean, I love my subscribers so dearly, but I don't necessarily. I'm not like obsessed with raising my numbers or anything.
Yeah.
I you know, that's not really something that I care too much about. I
You're
don't have.
doing it for a wholesome reason,
Yeah,
basically.
I've been told that I'm just, like, in general kind of a wholesome person, but I don't mind that because there has to
Oh,
be
that's a
something,
great thing, and that's something that we're lacking today in this world, so, yeah,
right?
that's great. Okay, guys, so that concludes I guess, the formal version of the interview. If you guys have any questions for Spirit Voices, feel free to type them in the chat. In the meantime, while you guys come up with some questions, I'm gonna go ahead and read the chat because I have not been looking at it because I've been focusing on the interview.
I've been glancing at it, now and then just because it's been dancing in the corner of my vision.
Let's
But I
see.
haven't seen very much.
Dingleberry said, Margbot, can I request narrators to interview? You certainly can, Dingleberry. You certainly can. Reach out to me on Twitter, or you can post it here, and I'll take a look. All right, let's see. Who else?
There were some great ones out
Aaron confirmed that he was, in fact, here only for you.
there. Aw, thanks, Erin.
Oh, my buddies are here. Lot, I'm not sure if you're still here. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Sin, my best. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by as well. Dark Voices. Dark Voices is like one of the nicest guys here, by the way.
I do know Dark Voices. I remember specifically, I think it was either Twitter or Discord, but he joined a server or a chat I was in, and I was like, "Hey, a fellow Voices." So I know him as, like, my fellow Voices buddy, because just because.
Let's see who else. Oh, Asian Persuasion. Welcome back. See, I can't talk now. I'm glad you came back. Lord of Terror said Margbot told me this town is too small for the both of us and for me to skedaddle out of town. You're ridiculous.
Oof.
Yes, Lord of Terror, I am still doing these. I know they annoy you, but sucks to be
I'm thinking about a
you.
hashtag carnival raid.
Let's see. Oh, I think I saw that up. Yeah, I saw that. I remember now. Let's see. Mega, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. Carnival raid again.
Seeing a lot of those.
Let's see. Okay. I am not bringing down any of that.
Oh
um,
yeah, I'm seeing a lot of weird stuff on here,
oh,
but
a whole 7 dislikes. All right. So much hate. It's been a while since I got so much hate. A whole
it's
7.
because of me. My bad.
Who could dislike you?
After that whole rant about having a wholesome environment, so many people
They're bringing the unwholesomeness. Hey, beside the
hmm
dying fire, welcome.
We need some chaos to balance this out, right?
Right? That's the world. Oh, Goose, welcome. Man, all my friends are here. It really warms my heart considering this is the last Google Hangout stream. Let's see, who else did I miss? Dingleberry said he loves your voice, or she said. I'm not sure if
Thank
it's a he
you.
or she, but they love your voice. I'm not gonna stop interviewing. I just need to find a way to do it without it being
hmm
complicated for the people I'm interviewing.
Got
I
to do
promise.
some test runs.
Yeah, yeah, I do. The Skype is looking likely right now, but we'll see. I did not charge you $300 for the interview, Lord of Terror. And no, I did not cuss you out. She's
Wait,
so
you're
funny.
charging for this? That's news to me.
Yeah, the exposure you get to a whole,
Oh,
19
that's
people
that's
watching
my
that you
payment,
brought here yourself anyway. So
right?
let's see. What else? What else did I miss? Almost caught fire on something. Ah, man, it skipped. I hate it when it just randomly skips.
Oh, me too. I was just doing that.
Let's see. I'm supposed to ask you if I screamed at my PA before we went live.
Oh yeah, it was a whole mess. I just had to sit here and pretend it wasn't happening.
Yeah, just pretend, just look the
There
other
was
way. That's
yeah,
just how you.
there was a whole 3 minutes there where you didn't even know I was here because you were too busy talking to the PA. I had to sorry, I'm admitting this now, but I had to pretend I just joined when you noticed.
That's embarrassing. You weren't supposed to notice that.
It's fine, you know. We're supposed to be honest here.
Yeah, let's see. I do destroy ties. Yes, that is the caseload of terror. Let's see. What else? What else? Any other questions? Elio said Spirit Voices and Dark Somnium are best dynamic duo. Changed my mind. They are a pretty good duo,
I
not gonna
can't change your mind.
lie. Let's see. Who is this person? Elio said, "Tell Lucy I said hi, beach." Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
he teases me for the way I say that because I tease myself, but
let's see. What else? What else did I stop skipping? Darn it. Apparently, I bring everyone together according to Dark Voices. I don't know about that, but let's pretend.
I don't know. I mean, there are like at least 19 to 20 people here that you brought together. So,
Hey, I think you're responsible for half of those, right?
well, maybe, but if you didn't ask me, they wouldn't be here at all. So, I think you're still a root of it.
Aaron is asking Lucy, what are the odds of more interviews like this in the future?
I mean, look, if I'm asked, I don't mind doing it. I did a Q&A on my channel where I basically, I mean, it was essentially like this, except without anyone asking me questions, like in person. So it was just me rambling for a good 40 minutes. So I don't know if anyone needs more of that, but
I'll have those.
yeah.
Timothy Duran, aka Rainer, is Margbot going to be doing more narration videos? Yes, I actually have some recorded. I actually think I have videos, narration videos on Patreon that I actually never got around to uploading onto Facebook or not Facebook. Wow. I don't know why I'm thinking Facebook.
Facebook.
Onto YouTube, clearly, the platform we are now on.
You
So
know,
yes,
that
I
one.
do have I will continue uploading narration videos when I get around to recording / actually putting them on YouTube and not just on Patreon. Let's see.
I
Dingleberry,
do
yes, you can
I
request.
sorry.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I do just want to say that I like how that question looks like it's being asked at me, like it's my decision. Like is Mark not going to be doing more narration videos? I say yes. I say
He says yes,
always.
so clearly the answer is
So
yes.
the answer is yes.
Let's see. Elio said, "How is my day going?" My day is, I'm really tired. That's how my day is going. And I have a jam-packed day tomorrow, so I'm kind of dreading
Me
that.
too. Yeah, no, me too. I'm going to a family reunion in 2 days, so
Oh boy,
I have
those
to
are
do a
always
self
fun.
care preparation day.
Wow. Let's see. Kylo said, "Have you interviewed the Dark Somnium?" Yes, yes, I have. And me and him have actually been friends for, I don't know, a really long time in comparison to how long I've been around YouTube. Like I knew him when he was way little, and he knew me when I was way small. So yeah, I've interviewed him. He's a really awesome dude. I've seen him go through ups and downs and still be able to upload. So I admire that a
Mhm.
lot out of him. Um,
I
let's
haven't
see.
been there for those, but I've heard about them and I respect it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's just mind-blowing to me how he's been able to keep up with a YouTube channel considering how his life is gone. I mean, he posts
Yeah,
about it on, like, Twitter or anything or and stuff,
sure.
so I don't it's not like I'm revealing anything, but
No,
yeah, that
yeah,
kid
he's talked to
just
me
keeps
about it.
going, just keeps going.
Yeah, did you hear that he has like a almost an everyday schedule now that he just set for himself?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
I'm
that,
like,
and I need more of that radio, the creepypasta radio that he has going on or the Dark Somnium radio because it
uh-huh.
helps me get through my workday.
Yes, no, I'm very excited for that to return, but I'm like, man, I respect anyone who's able to post every day. That's insane.
Yeah, let's see. What is your favorite kind of story to read? We already went through that lot. You weren't paying attention.
Yes. I talked for like every question, I talked for a very long time.
Dingleberry, I've said I think I answered your question twice. Please feel free to request any narrators. You can post them on here or you can post them on Twitter. So it's not that I've been ignoring your question because I've definitely answered it. Let's see. What's your favorite ice cream and yogurt spirit voices?
And yogurt. Man, I think he knows. I know you know I've said my favorite ice cream before. I mean, if I had to choose, it would be Neapolitan because I love that one a lot. But yogurt, man, I don't eat a lot of yogurt. That's a very specific question.
Yeah.
Strawberry? I don't know.
There you go. Strawberry, guys.
Strawberry. It's canon now.
It definitely is. Let's what else? There's something what are your opinions on the series Third Parent, aka the Tommy Taffy trilogy from both a writer standpoint and its story altogether?
Um, I honestly, so I haven't actually looked too much at the Tommy Taffy stuff. I have seen so many references to that on the Dark Stories channel, but I honestly haven't gotten around to looking at it. I have listened to the Third Parent, um, and both of these I've only seen from him, but I know they're very popular and out there. But I mean, I don't know. I from what I remember about listening to it, because it was a while ago that I did, um, well, I mean, like I said, I only listened to a little bit, but I remember it being it was a very iconic character, um, which I guess is why it's referenced so much. And the writing was really in depth. But yeah, I haven't listened to that much of it. Unfortunately, I do know it's on there. There's a lot of videos on there, so I'll get to it. I'll get to it and answer it better.
Yeah, see, that series for me is so chilling and disturbing. Like, it makes me want to shower after. And, like, I don't know. I mean, whoever wrote it, and if the person asking this question is the author, writer, um, wow, man, wow. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
It's a lot. I only know, like I said, I only know a little bit, but from what I do know,
I just,
it's
I
a good horror
usually don't
story.
like that kind of material that has children being, abused in a way. I usually don't care for it, but the writing is
Right.
amazing. It's portrayed in a very professional, if I don't know if that's a term for it, but portrayed in a very appropriate way, I guess, or as
Yeah.
best as you can portray that sort of situation. And whoever wrote it has an amazing imagination. Like I enjoy that whole series, but I can't listen to it too often because it's like
Right.
I this is
I
disturbing.
I definitely think, from what I know, it's probably one of those stories because there is a line for writing, but there are some authors who are able to easily cross that line and can write stories that work with things that are uh, usually considered not appropriate for stories,
Yeah,
um, and or like very unconventional things. Some authors can take and make it work really well, and I believe it's probably one of those kinds of stories.
I
Um,
agree. He definitely makes it work.
mhm.
Let's see. Oh, Dingleberry said, Margbot, can you interview Corpse Husband, Nightmare Files, Mr. Nightmare, and Mr. Scarecrow, if possible, please? Okay, so here's the story with that. Corpse Husband,
Ooh.
he's actually been on my channel. He made an appearance on my channel and was nice enough to like share it everywhere, share it on Snapchat, I think. But he's not into the whole interview thing, I think. So if he ever is, which I told him, like, look, if you're ever up for it, I'm down. So if he ever is, I surely will. He's a great guy. He just
Mhm.
usually has a lot going on.
I was gonna say
Um,
I know he's very busy.
yeah, definitely. Nightmare Files is a question mark. Mr. Nightmare, I've actually never reached out to Mr. Nightmare because I'm almost like maybe I shouldn't think this way and maybe I should just do it. But I've had experiences with the bigger narrators where I'll ask them and
Mhm.
I never hear back because and I'm guessing it's either A, they're not interested, of course, or B, they just get so much spam that it's like, who the hell is this?
I
And it's
know.
like,
I
wait,
always imagine that's how it is. Yeah.
As for Mr. Scarecrow, I've already interviewed him, so feel free to check out the playlist with the interviews, and he shall be there because I love Mr. Scarecrow. I can't talk. Let's see. Hi, Fuzzies McFuzzface.
I love that name.
Welcome. Let's
I've
see.
definitely seen them around.
Kylo Ren, he is definitely a human. I have seen him. Uh, all right, guys. I think that's it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm sure Miss Spirit Voices slash Lucy is, she wants her piece before she has to go interact with a whole bunch of humans she's related to.
Oh, that's okay. I deal with it.
It's been a wonderful stream, guys. It was nice reminiscing about the old days. Next time that I'm back streaming, I will be on a different platform and hopefully I'll have it all figured out and hopefully it'll be fancy. Like it'll be like
That's
the other big YouTubers who don't just use Hangouts. Thank you so much to Spirit Voices for
yeah.
allowing me to interview her in regards to
Thank
her
you.
channel and sharing, a bit about herself and for being a really wholesome human being.
Aw, thank you.
Definitely check out her channel, guys. The links are below. Follow her on Twitter and follow her, subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, catch me on Twitter. And I think that's it for now. Margbot out.